Hello? Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Right. Oh, let me get comfy here. The music seems to be buffering a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Right. Hello, stream. How are we doing? We doing okay? We doing well? Oh, dear. How's my day been? Oh, God. Don't get me started. Bloody hell. Like, literally, yeah, today has been a busy day. I started work at 9 o'clock, which is late for some people. In fact, actually, most people don't work Saturdays. Scratch that. But I didn't get on my first break until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Very busy. Like, extremely busy. So I'm, glad that we managed to even get a break in at all. So I had my lunch at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Basically tea time. Cool. Oh dear. Right, let me move my tablet. Move those pants. I live like a tramp, I do. Terrible. Right. Okay, so I've got a bit of a I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to play this tonight. I'm actually in the mood for a little bit of classic sort of. I say classic Cold War. Just play it how we always play it. You know, NATO subs versus the Russians in a traditional fashion. But I was talking with Digby, who's actually playing Cold Waters at the moment, and I was watching him yesterday, and I was noticing that, well, first of all, that was triggering the shit out of me. But that's fine. It's okay. He can play Cold Waters however he likes. I'm not a backseat gamer. Basically, he does this thing where he engages contacts without identifying the target's signature. He doesn't do any signature analysis. He just finds a target, improves the target motion analysis to 95%, and then fires at it without really identifying it. With surface ships, he at least identifies them via the periscope. But he just fucking, if it's an underwater contact, he just fucks a torpedo off in its general direction. Now, as much as that triggered the shit out of me, I actually thought that would make for a fairly fun sort of dynamic to an otherwise normal Cold Waters run. Not knowing exactly what you're shooting at adds an element of intrigue to the game, don't you think? Like, not knowing exactly who you're fighting or what you're fighting. Meaning that if you have surface contacts, you need to come up to the top to visually ID them with the periscope. You know, I think that would be... guessing he doesn't watch Jive Turkey, no. Are you planning on doing a Fog of War game eventually? Well, this is going to be Fog of War Plus, Junior, if we decide to do this. So it's one of those ones, like, I'm not too sure how we should play it. I'm kind of intrigued to see how it will go, though. I think it could be quite cool. Sounds like Friendly Fire Heaven. Well, this is the thing, like, we're not going to be shooting at targets we don't necessarily know, but there's a couple of staples in the game that we do know. First things first, underwater contacts are either hostile submarines or wildlife, like whales and things like that. Surface contacts obviously are going to be flying some kind of national flag or anything like that. And also, if it's a military ship, we're going to be able to spot it, but obviously we need to come up to periscope depth to be able to identify things. So I think this is going to be a pretty interesting take on as the title would suggest, an interesting take on an old classic. Let me just jump onto my Discord and go and sit in the streaming room. Sorry, Blade there in chat. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling, old man. I normally do night shifts, but today I had to follow a mandatory course to keep trucking. The thing is, the thing started at 8 in the morning, so I got a nice amount of 3 hours sleep. Ouch. With a capital ow. Cool. Right, so we're going to jump straight into the game here. I'm not going to keep us waiting for too long. Here we are. I've actually been a little bit stuck of what to do as of recently. I've literally just been biding my time waiting for us to play Divinity again. I have a build that I think can work, right? Basically, I've decided I'm going to go Assassin, which is Archer slash, backstabby, sneaky, all of the fun stuff. But it's one of those ones. It's a bit like, yeah, we'll see. It's I've not quite nailed it down yet. Right. Okay, there we go. Just fixing my watch. Okay, cool. Let's load up the game. Cold Waters. Play. We've had 93 hours on Cold Waters so far. I bloody believe it as well. 93 sodding hours. It feels like it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, oh, you know, we haven't put the time in. We've put the time in. Right, Cold Waters. Here it is. Hopefully that's going to flag up on the stream now. Hello, there it is. For some reason it's not quite centered. Why is that? Video resolution. Oh no, we don't want to make it too high. Where is it? Come on, show me the 1080p. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Apply. Accept. There we go. Sort the black bar out on the bottom. Yeah, seeing Digby engage the surface fleet. Have I tried Kingdom Come Deliverance? I have not tried it. I am intentionally saving myself for when the stability patches are out. I understand the game is very much playable in its current state, but there are people that are losing their hard-earned saves to problems with save game corruption or load game corruption, meaning that people are having to start again and again and again. And apparently this has been a problem since long before the actual release of the game. Like, people have been having that problem for months into the closed alpha, and it's still not been addressed nearly 9 months since the problem first started creeping up in a non-public access. So I'm kind of a little bit on the fence about buying it until I know bugs like that have been sorted. I know obviously they were working to get a week 1 patch out, but I've not seen anything substantial yet. So I'm holding off for now. Doesn't mean I won't get it, but I'm approaching it with a modicum of care. Be proud of me. Be proud of me, Mom. Cool. Did you find out why the streams were only 1080p? I didn't. I didn't have a sodding clue why they were only 1080p. Yeah, not a sausage. I believe the options are there now, but I don't know why it was like that yesterday. Cool, alright. So, for anybody not familiar, we're going to be doing another Fog of War campaign, which means we need to choose a new submarine. Now, what submarine do you want to do the Fog of War campaign in? Should we do it in the Los Angeles, the Narwhal, the Sturgeon, the Permit, or the classic skipjack class submarines? This will probably be the hardest submarine to do it in, I will be honest, but you know, everyone likes a challenge, especially old Joe here. Lovely. Few requests for the Los Angeles class, that's fine. 5 requests for the LA, let's go diesel engine. Diesel engine, Jesus. Narwhal, LA, motherfucker. Sturgeon, LA. LA, looks like we've got the LA class coming in then. So the Los Angeles class nuclear attack submarine. Okay. In service since 1976, this class was the first to be designed from the outset with a towed array. It is the first to return to the 30+ knot speed of the skipjacks. Originally designed to screen carrier groups against Soviet submarines, they combine high speed with excellent Easter coming up. Digital sonar and fire control, and the most advanced quietening available. With the addition of the Harpoon and Tomahawk missile systems, these boats are as capable against enemy shipping as they are against submarines. Their only drawback is their large size, that makes them very expensive and less manoeuvrable and deep diving than the earlier Sturgeon class. Believe it or not, despite it saying that it has the most advanced quieting available, it is in fact not the quietest submarine in the game. The badge of honour there goes to the Narwhal class, with the virtually silent S5G natural circulation power plant. Whatever this thing's called, the Los Angeles class, the 688, has. I don't believe this is a 688, but it is still a Los Angeles class. It's definitely quiet for such a large submarine, but it's not the quietest. So it's one of those ones. We still have to be careful. Cool. Everyone who wants to listen to some interesting music. I just want to make sure that link is... oh, it's some kind of Russian link. Just be careful when you're posting links in chat, mate. Alright. Okay, so let's rock and roll. Here we go. So I've instantly forgotten how you pronounce the word comsublant? Comsublant? Not comsublant. Commander Quebec. I know that stands for Commander Submarine Something Atlantic. I'm learning slowly, one piece at a time. Isn't that Greek? I have no idea. Rock and or roll. Cool. Right. Effective immediately. You are hereby assigned command of Los Angeles class submarine USS Bremerton. The Bremerton SSN 698. Congratulations and good luck in your new command. So, you'll notice that we're just an SSN. We are not an SSGN or an SSBN, as the Los Angeles class in its current configuration here is not capable of launching ballistic missiles, nuclear ballistic missiles. So we are not an SSGN, we are not an SSBN, we are simply an SSN, a nuclear attack submarine. I believe the SS stands for submersible submarine. So we are submersible submarine nuclear class, so SSN. Could be talking out my arse there though. Right, congratulations, good luck in your new command. Here we go. So, let's see what's going on. So we know the story. Those old Ruskies are at it again. Let's skip through that. And let's get our first command. Now, tactical situation. This is on the 12th of November 1984, 1200 hours. Satellite Recon has spotted an enemy landing force leaving Archangel-esque 4 hours ago, heading into the Norwegian Sea. Recent intel reports indicate that the enemy plans an amphibious landing at Oslo. You must engage this force before the landing occurs. Intel further reports that the landing force consists of several Rapucha and Alligator-class transports with their escorts. Locate and sink the landing ships and locate and sink any escorting vessels if possible. Now, normally what I'd do is I'd go into the rearm and resupply menu and swap out all 8 of the UGMs that I'm carrying and replace them with Tomahawk anti-ship missiles as they pack more punch. But considering the enemy fleet left 4 hours ago, I don't have time. I have to leave now. So we're going to hit OK and we're going to cast off. We now need to be moving at full speed towards Oslo, which is actually down here, but we're going to intercept them on the northwestern coast of Norway, which I actually found like goes all the way up here. Right, so let's get ready to intercept them. We're going to be intercepting in shallow water, but that's okay. Let's step down to patrol speed, which is 15 knots, 10-15 knots. And it's going to be holding us at a depth of 150 feet. We're crossing over the SOSUS line now. Let's retreat back. Stay at patrol speed. Hang on, we've got a submarine fleet coming ahead of it. So we've got submarines moving ahead of the primary attack fleet. That's an interesting tactic. Captain, we have a new sonar contact, bearing 036, designate Sierra 1. EXO reports depth is at 50 feet, heading 334, speed 5 knots. Local conditions are broken with light air and there is no surface duct or thermal layer. As I explained in my last Cold Water stream, this feature has been disabled, so this button currently does the same as the other one. You are now no longer able to choose the range at which you will engage contacts. I also double checked, we are playing on elite difficulty. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, sorry, Blade there. By the way, was watching your Spin Tires stream, really loved it as a trucker myself. Hopefully you don't have to deal with those kinds of conditions, Blade. Fingers crossed. Cool. So, anybody not well versed in the rules of the Fog of War game, first things first, we are not allowed to change the camera's perspective to anything other than the submarine itself. So, obviously, we're in third person with our own submarine. We're not allowed to watch weapons. We're not allowed to once we get 95% sonar solution, we're not allowed to I basically click on other ships to see them. We're restricted to the camera view of our submarine only. In addition, we're adding a new rule today as part of the Fog of War challenge. We are not doing any signature analysis. So people familiar with the feature of cold waters in that
yeah.
Robust Penguin, been laid up with the tendinitis in both hands all weekend, and your streams are a highlight for me. Thank you, buddy. No worries, man. Robust Penguin. Holy shit, get better soon, man. Fucking hell. Where was I? I was blabbering on about the game. So yeah, basically what we're doing is, rather than sitting there and identifying contacts, so do you know how we sit in the sort of some deep water and we listen and we try and line up the little bars to see which ship is which? We're not doing that. This is a Fog of War run. All that we'll know is that we are fighting different contacts. Now, what we're going to have to do is, you'll remember, I'm just explaining this now because we've got a lot of work to do once we actually get in game, so I'm biding my time. So do you remember up here that we've got that little window that shows us what all of the different ships are? Basically, what we have to do is we just have to remember which ships are which. That's one of those ones. So we have to remember which ships are which. Or we can, I think, shall we make an exception to the rule? If I'm able to visually match the silhouette of the ship... Sorry, beard donor, or bear donor. Quebec, get those pesky Russians out of my waters. Because it's got a Ruski infection. Terrible joke, right? So I don't know. What should the rule be before we take off? Before we take off, should we have it so that we are able, so let's say, for example, I've got the little thing up here with the silhouette of the ship on. If I'm able to match the silhouette to the ship, am I able to mark it like that? Or are we just not allowed to identify contacts using the signature analysis menu? What do you think we should do? Is that like bonitis, is it? But of the tendons? You're the bonitis guy from Futurama. Visual confirmation sounds fair. So if I can look at a ship and ID, visual ID only. Okay. So submarines we're not going to be able to identify at all, but surface contacts we'll be able to identify. Maybe, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go one better. Give me a second. Oh, where's my Cole Phelps notebook? Because instead of doing a, there it is. What I'll do is I'll write down Sierra 1, Sierra 2 or whatever, and then if I find a matching picture, I will then write down in the notebook what Sierra contact we're looking at and what its stuff is, just so I don't forget. So we won't even do that. We'll go one better. Where is my pen? Every time. Is it? Ah, there it is. It's in my pocket. I got it. Cool. Right, let me move this out of the way. Lovely. Right. Cool. No identification also means you can't know if the enemy sub has a solution on you, which I think is better as well. Right, so we're going to go from the back this time, I think. Just so we've got plenty of room to be doing the Cole Phelps shenanigans on. Okay. So let's use the notes section here. Here we are. Just flick a few more pages. Oh god, I wish I could like cut down like Twitch vods, so that we'd only had the important stuff. That's why you should make a YouTube channel. Oh yes, I know. Right, there we go. So we've got the notes page. Let us crease the spine of the book so it doesn't snap shut like a piranha. There we go. Rig ship for Ultra Dumb. I think we'll do all right. Kampf Panzer Leopard 2 back in chat. Why no sonar identification? Are we doing a challenge run? Yes. We're doing what I like to call the Fog of War challenge. Chat is obviously well versed in the rules now. I've explained them about 40 times. Feel free to explain it to people that are trickling in. Save me poor voice box. This is the part of the stream where I ignore chat. Hey, yeah, and Rip Wales as well. Cool.
On sonar, new contact bearing 056, designated Sierra 1.
Sierra 1, okay. Bring us up to periscope depth, please. Dive 4-5 feet.
4-5 feet, dive by.
Okay, we're coming up to 4-5 feet. We're in very shallow water. Sonar, take us sounding. Total water depth is 266 feet.
4-5 feet, dive by.
That's a fucking appalling water depth. We remember we're fighting a submarine here of some
sonar,
description.
new contact bearing 036. Designated Sierra 2.
Sierra 2, aye? Okay. So all we've got to do is sit here and bide our time. Range to target, estimated 13,000 yards. Oh, there we go. That's why we don't do that. Okay, so we're doing a fog of war run, basically, which means that we're only allowed to look at our ship and nothing else. So we're allowed to use T to cycle between the contacts, but we're not allowed to click on them or anything like that. This is the tactical map here. So we've got 2 Sierra contacts. Sierra 1 is likely the contact that we're after, and Sierra 2 is likely some kind of civilian vessel based on the range to contact. The range to Sierra 2 is roughly 33,000 yards, which means it must be making a hell of a lot of noise for us to detect it in only 200 feet of water, which probably means that it is some kind of civilian or merchant vessel not designed to be running quietly, whereas Sierra 1 I suspect is our contact. So we're going to stay on Sierra 1. Can we have a bit of edit, Sean Connery? Since your voice does fit Sean. The only thing I can say in Sean Connery accent is Sean Connery. It's not even good, Sean. I'm sorry. If Sean Connery's watching, or if this ever makes it to the attention of Sean Connery, I'd like to apologise. Okay. It could be good to make one. Make one for everyone that asks for rules. It's true. Yeah, like a command. Yeah, should do that. Just add a H after every S. Right. So remember, we're playing on 34%. So we know that we're fighting submarines. Let's just raise the ESM mast.
Raise the ESM mast.
And let's raise the radar mast. Oh, sorry, not raise the radar mast. Let's raise the periscope. Bearing 035. Let's see, we can't see the surface vessel. 035. No surface contacts. Let's do just a quick 360 sweep. No close contacts, sea state calm. Oh, fuck me, there we go, tab out. Sierra 1 was upgraded to Master 1. Okay. ESM contact bearing 061. 061. Again, no range to contact, 12,000 yards. Sea state is calm. Target is lightly submerged. Lower the ESM mast and periscope.
Lower the ESM mast.
Okay, dive. Make depth 100 feet.
Make depth 100 feet, dive by.
Target's lightly pointing us. Again, we're not doing this portion of the game. We're not identifying contacts in a traditional sense. We need to keep improving our target motion analysis. Target's coming right for us through the shallow water. Target's likely only running at 100 feet as well. Speed of the target is unknown currently. We've got this up here that we can use to identify targets. We're on 125 decibels, very quiet, 950 feet test depth.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Dive at 100
Is $5
feet,
enough
dive
for you
by.
to add me on Discord?
Yes, it's enough. I'll add you on Discord. Sell out, ahoy. We've got another crewman on deck. Thank you very much, Laws. Cheers, man. I'll add the fuck out of you on Discord for $5. I'll do anything for $5. $5. I'll see you spend 5 minutes in an American sub, and certainly everything's in dollars. Right. Okay. So let's get it lined up on submarines, as it's likely submarines we're going to be facing. Let's keep our minimap open. Range to target 11,000 yards. Target still moving at an unknown speed. It's pretty much coming straight for us though. Helm, bring us In fact, he's pretty much coming right at us. Let's see. I can't really improve the target sonar solution. I'm not sure how good his sonar array is, so it's difficult for me to make a call here. He's going to bump into us at some rate here. Okay, we rigged for silent running. Rigged for silent running.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Gonna be interesting. He's out there. Right, contact. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Helm, bring us right, bearing 111.
Come right to 111. Helm I.
We're going to change our course here in an attempt to artificially inflate the solution of the sonar. The more degrees, basically if we change the angle to the contact, the angle off the bow, it should improve the target solution. So I'm going to change course to try and improve the target motion analysis of Master 1. Try and identify it as a target. Target is at 11,000 yards and closing. I'm yet to identify the target, whether it is hostile or not. Target solution is a mere 37% and holding. We're going to be closing to very close range here. Okay, helm, bring us left, bearing 022.
Come left to 022. Helm I.
I'm going to try and get around to the side of him here. This is going to be very interesting, but this is what I've got to do. Target is at 10,000 yards. Wabbit season. I just started reading Red Storm Riding by Little Red Riding Hood Storming the Western Europe. Very good book. Some of Roald Dahl's most famous work. So words. $5. Do you add pineapple on your pizza? Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Moocher, thank you very much. Moocher Chief. Cheers, man. Welcome aboard. Back in a bit, power 1%. God bless. God bless him. Rudder's at -1. There we go.
Steady course.
Con helm, steady course. Con eye. Not sure what target we're going to be tracking. It's likely going to be one of the lesser submarines based at the speed it's going. Let's see. Could be a Whiskey. Could also be a Romeo. Based on the speed that it's going very slowly. Contact we now know is making 10 knots. Sonar solution is now at 43% and improving. The ship is evidently very quiet as it's currently at 10,000 yards and we've barely got a sonar solution on it. So we are going to look for ships that are running very quiet. Could be a Tango class submarine running at 130 decibels. So it could be a Tango.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Oh shit.
Have you played Silent Hunter 3? It's a WW2 era U-boat simulator. I figure you'd enjoy it despite its age. Especially with a Grey Wolves Extended 3 Gold mod.
The WWE era U-boat simulator. Like, no, it's fucking, yeah, WW2. I've obviously heard of Silent Hunter, who hasn't? But I've never played it. No, never played it. It's a bit of a new, well, I say a bit of a new thing for me. I've never... Basically, it's one of those ones, because I didn't play it years ago when it was like new-ish. I had no cause to play the newer ones, and apparently the newer ones are like a travesty that I shouldn't get. So it's one of those ones. I might end up playing it, I might not, I don't know. The jury's still out on that one. Unless it's really highly recommended, I might not. Silent Hunter is Ubisoft. But is it from the Ubisoft before the evil Ubisoft took over? That's the question. Because Ubisoft used to be a good company. It didn't always used to be made up of evil cretins. Okay, target range 9,100 yards. Our ship is currently in silent running. Contact is making 10 knots. Closing, bearing 071. Course is still unknown. The plan is just going to be to drift silently by. We're not going to be able to sort of maneuver this guy, not really. So helm, bring us left, bearing 008.
Come left
Or
to
7.
007. Helm aye.
Just adjusting course slightly. At the moment the sonar equipment is just listening, trying its best to accurately triangulate the enemy position. The enemy positions are going to be a lot harder to triangulate, A, because of the difficulty, and B, because we're not using the signature tab. We're not using the signature tab to identify contacts. Now, the fact that it's making 10 knots usually means
steady course.
that it's a hostile submarine. What I want to try and do is find out its course and then try and slip into the target's baffles and fire a weapon. Because it's only 200 meters of water at such close range, torpedo evasion is going to be nigh impossible here, so I need to make sure I'm prepared in the event that a torpedo goes off, or I need to fire it first and I need to fire it quietly. This is actually a very, believe it or not, despite my calm, relaxed commentary of the game so far, this is probably one of the worst situations a submarine of this particular size can find itself in. We're in virtually no depth of I think there is more. Our ship is taller than there is total water depth. The length from fucking bow to stern is longer than the depth of water that we're in, to give you some context of just how shallow the water is. We are at a mere 266 feet. Maybe a little bit just under the full length of the boat, but again, I should stress, shallow. My username on Discord is Jake the Snake. As long as you're on the old, as long as you PM me on the Long Live Quebec Discord, obviously shameless plug in the panels, hiding somewhere. I don't know if you're on mobile or not. Have I ever played Battle Stations Midway? Nope, never played that. 10 knots could be a whale. It could also be a Soviet submarine holding 10 knots. Typically 10 knots means that you're undetected. Sonar solution 57%. Range to target is now only 8,000 yards. It is definitely a quiet submarine. Sea state is at 70. Well, the sea state is pretty calm, as we've seen, but ambient noise is at 78 decibels, which is quite low. So the fact that we're not detecting this guy is a bit of a burden. But he's holding a steady course, and he's brushing very close to us. Again, the plan is to get into the contact's baffles. As he closes now beyond the 8,000 yard threshold, we are going to drop to 3 knots. Maneuvering 3 knots. Make turns.
Make turns for 3 knots. Maneuvering aye.
There we go. We've got a course to the target now at 60% solution. He is heading course 222. Speed 10 knots.
Maneuvering. Making turns for 3 knots.
Okay, helm, bring us right. Bearing 028.
Come right to 028. Helm aye.
Now that we've slowed down to 3 knots, target solution is improving. All we need to do now is slip into the contact's baffles. Now, we are not going to we're not going to be able to stop ourselves from visually seeing the submarine from this far away. So if we get to 95% solution and I can see the submarine in third person, I'm going to give myself that small crutch and try and identify it using that method. So we are just going to watch basically and see what happens. Again, 62% solution. We may not even get to the point where where we're able to do this. Like, I don't think we're gonna really ever see the submarine. What we're looking for at the moment is changes in course. Sierra 2 has got full target motion analysis now. Let's have a look at it. It is heading at 10 knots. Away from the bearing that the submarine was approaching at, so again, likely some kind of civilian vessel. Unsure though, that's at 17,000 yards. Sans Jr., thanks very much, mate. Can you ram an enemy sub? Yes. Do I advise it? No. Rabbit Season. It has some fantastic ship-to-ship and sub and air gameplay. Think of it as a cross between World of Warships, War Thunder and Battlefield 1942. Social System says, I'm currently salvaging an external hard drive that gets stuck. Slamming it on my desk seems to get it moving again. That's, just give it a bit of motivation. There we go, okay. So, target solution of Master 1 is now 67%. Manoeuvring dropped to 2 knots.
Making turns for 2
yeah.
knots. Maneuvering I.
Terrain odor. Again, fucking up the name. Every time. Just terrain. That's all we're going to call you. But yeah, thanks very much, man, for the 2 months there. It's very kind. Very kind.
Maneuvering. Making turns for 2 knots.
2 knots, I.
Oh, yeah.
And game shorts as well. Thank you very much, man. A thank you.
Oh,
Thought that was a launch transy then. Wabbit Season as well. Fucking hell, it keeps getting better and better. It keeps going. Fucking hell. All the subs, I know. All the subs in the submarine game. 71% target solution on Master 1. Again, we're running damn near silent here. Welcome, Allrack. How you doing, man? The old sub train. The subs are leaving port. And I shall buy some port with the sub money. Quebec, have you ever rammed an enemy sub or ship? No. I parked next to an Oscar class that I crippled. Basically, I shot an Oscar class with a Mark 48 torpedo. Again, Oscar class, not familiar with it, Google it. Very big submarine. And it took on a lot of water at the stern. And basically, it had to use its ballast tanks for an emergency surface. You can get emotes? I can. I've got to pay somebody to make the emotes, Erido, which I'm thinking is going to be Boo Boo Dingo, who's a very busy woman. So it's one of those ones. But yeah. I'm going to get that all sorted at what we are going to call, in air quotes, Joe time, which could mean anything at this point. Okay, target is now crossing the barrier to the 6,000 yard mark. Target solution is 78%. Speed is 10 knots. Course has not changed. It is still heading 236, bearing 90 to the target. We're just coasting past now. Nice and quiet. Again, once it reaches a high enough target solution, we'll be able to visually identify the target, which is now sort of about here, at a 6,000, now closing to 5,000 yard range. Why no TSA? I believe it will be better... Sorry, hang on. Why no TSA? I believe it will be better to not move camera instead. No? I'm not entirely sure I know what you're asking. Maybe that sentence makes sense and I'm the dumb one. Could be that. Nor Shad, that's Nor Shad. That's who should do your emotes. Hey man, I'm desperate. Whoever's cheap. I don't think Boo Boo's cheap, but shit. What? Oh shit! Here we go. 85% target solution. Ding ding ding. Now what is that? It's a longer boat. November? Looks like a November. Single shallow conning tower. Right. I don't want to identify it because that gives me an unfair advantage and tells me whether or not I'm in the contact's baffles. It's a semi-noisy submarine. Test depth is deeper than ours, but it's got a very bad sonar array. That looks like a November to me from here. Kara, I'm doing a special. I'm calling it the Fog of War run. We are not using the signature tab at all, like we might have done just there to even see that. But again, visually identified as a November. So I'm going to write that in my notebook here. Master 1 is a November. Master 1 is a November. There we go. Got some old salvage photos from the drive from my days in a cash office for Primark. Forgot how much they made in a day. We've got a linky link. Let's have a look. Holy shit! Lots of paper in your weird foreign currency with what look like Kingdom Come Deliverance characters on them. in a vertical photograph taken horizontally that upsets me in more ways than I care to mention. Perfect. So that is a November class I'm pretty comfortable in identifying, which means we should be relatively safe from the target. So yes, bribe. Fog of War, it's a challenge that we just made up, basically. Got to do the most to annoy. Success. Absolute success. Right, yeah, so basically, again, we'll just quickly gloss over it for the people just trickling in. The Fog of War chat, and feel free to tell this to people.
Sonar lost contact. 0, 2, last bearing, 0, 1, 0, contact faded.
So what we're trying to do here is we're playing the Fog of War run. We are not allowed to change the camera to anything other than the submarine, so we're not allowed to just teleport over to the ship and look at it. We're not allowed to follow any weapons. We are literally locked to the camera that you see here in third person and on the surface, like this. We are allowed to use the periscope, obviously, but that has its limits, and we are allowed to use sonar equipment to identify the targets, but we are not allowed to mark them as identified or anything like that. We literally have to just verify it with the Mark 1 eyeball. Ideally, I'd have it so that I couldn't even see it here. I think a perfect situation for this game is that it doesn't show sonars, it doesn't show solutions at all, so that guy would still be invisible despite being at 95% sonar solution. I think that would be the ideal. Again, we're quite lucky here because he has pretty bad sonar. He's got medium frequency sonar. While we're running at 2 knots, we're basically invisible to him. So, helm, bring us right, bearing 067.
Come right to 067. Helm aye.
So what we're doing at the moment is we are currently manoeuvring to the contact's baffles. Yes, it's taking a little while, but we're giving it a wide berth. Essentially, I'm sure I explain this every stream, but there is a blind spot behind every submarine. Unless they have a towed array, there is still a blind spot, but it's a bit smaller. But I know for a fact that the November does not have a snowed array, an Admiral Snoke array. It has trout cheek, medium frequency, passive sonar, which is this one up here, and then it has pike jaw, high frequency active sonar, which is down here. That's the jaw, and that's the pike, the fin, if you like. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So you've got the cheek and the jaw, and they're together. They're not great, I'll be honest, but still better than nothing. We can assume that we are currently undetected based on the fact that the target has not changed course or changed speed since we established our TMA targeting. Again, target was designated as Master 1. So we got a pretty good idea that that is obviously a hostile submarine if the old Mark 1 eyeball doesn't confirm it, which it does. We could speed up time a little bit here just to close into the contact's baffles, just so that we play more than one game tonight, although I'm kind of enjoying just ticking along here waiting for the trap to spring. Can we teleport over to watch the explosions? Should that be a rule? I don't know. Against one submarine maybe, but against a fleet maybe not. We're going to have to watch it from the periscope. In fact, I want to keep it as true to the game as we can. We've got a slight course correction from Master 1 here. It is taking a slight southern tweak.
Con, helm, steady course.
Can't I? You should ask if they are hostile. Just ring them. Just knock on the door. Can you tell us where the boog is located? Yes. But I know, but explosions. We'll get to see the explosion from here. We'll get to watch our handiwork unfold. At the moment, we're too close to the submarine to be able... Hang on. Contact, was that speeding up? Contact still making 10 knots in the bottom left there. Just to talk you through the interface on the bottom left, forget the thing that says set speed, helm and plot course or plot CSE. Ignore those for now. There's 3 different columns. There's our ship is on the left, so our ship is currently heading course 067 at a speed of 2 knots and a depth of 100 feet. Rudder, planes and ballast tanks are all set to 0, which means we're not changing course or depth. The contact that we have locked in to the computer, the targeting computer, is Master 1. It is heading on bearing 120, heading on course 223 at a speed of 10 knots and a range of 5,000 or 5.1 kiloyards. So that's 5,100 yards. The SOL, the solution of the target, is 95%, which means sonar is 95% certain that that is accurate. The weapon data is currently blank because we have not fired a weapon, but what it stands for is course, range, bearing. RTE stands for range to enable, because these weapons have active and passive homing warheads. What you do is you choose a waypoint to the target, you then fire the weapon, which I'm going to make sure I don't do, and then the weapon's homing warhead will activate and it will chase targets. A bit like a heat-seeking missile from aircraft, but for submarines and with sound instead of heat. And then last one is TTR, which sounds like an acronym that Tigger would say from Winnie the Pooh or something, but it actually stands for time to run, which is in terms of minutes and seconds how much fuel a torpedo has remaining. So if your time to run is 1 minute, then you have the equivalent run time of 1 minute of fuel. Okay, so we're now sort of brushing past the contact here. It's pretty much directly parallel with us, or near as, damn it. At this point now, we are at the point of most vulnerability. If the contact is going to detect us, it is at this point here. The way we know that we have been detected is if we get a nice big wet slap of active sonar right to the face. Now, active sonar obviously requires a surface. Do you know the classic submarine pinging? You know, that sound. You know the one. If you've seen Das Boot, you know what we're talking about. Basically, that large blast of sound that comes off the submarine obviously needs to reflect off something in order to send a return signal and provide the pinging ship with a contact in which it can service. In the case of our submarine, we are in a submarine that we can even check here, is 110 by 10 meters. We have an absolutely huge sonar cross section to the point that if we go active, it has literally got 1/10 of a mile of fucking steel hull to reflect off of. There is no way in hell that we will be undetected if a blast of active sonar comes our way from 4,900 yards. So we just have to bide our time here. In the event that the enemy goes active, we need to fire a weapon in retaliation at short range, and then we need to fucking step it up to full speed, which will be 30 knots, and go straight for torpedo evasion by turning left, heading north. That's the plan anyway. Cool Wrench Mountain Dew asks, have you been enjoying your sushi? No. Rowin asks, the XCOM Executive Committee has convened and you are weapons free, Captain Quebec. Absolutely not. Don't want to be pedantic, but we are not in torpedo evasion water. Normally I might humour you, but we are in 200 feet of water. We cannot avoid weapons at this range. We need to fire the first shot and it needs to hit home. Digby just sunk himself with his own torpedo. No! Pulley Monty Python, which is a Dumbo character I've just created. Pull a Monty Python on them. Just pop up and ask them if they are the enemy. Yeah, that's it. Or what's it? Is it Mitchell and Webb? Are we the bad guys? Like. Weapons free means free to fire. Didn't mean to offend. You absolutely offended me. What are 200 feet in normal units? They are 350 hands. Or no, maybe less than that. 310 hands. They are probably closer to about 500 eyeballs. About 390 ears. I'm dragging out this joke a bit too long. 66 meters. Thanks very much. Classic troll. Six hundred noses exactly. Right, we are no longer running parallel with the target. It should be just a little way past us now. What we are going to do, we are going to change course. Helm, bring us right, bearing 090, direct east.
Come right to 090. Helm I.
We are now attempting the probably the second to last turn into the contact's baffles in order to fire a weapon. (81.077 meters). Thank you, Mr. Gnarly. It's good shit. It's going well. If you want, I can come up with some random bits of story for context on this. Yeah, go ahead. You go right ahead. Create away, sir. Helm. Oh, sorry, maneuvering. Bring us back up to 3 knots. That's 3 knots. Make turns.
Oh,
Make turns
yeah.
3 knots. Maneuvering I.
Lillian? Lillian. I was going to make a joke about Lily Allen then, but it's a sensitive topic. 2018 is the year to become easily offended. Not that I imagine anyone here is, but hey ho. Do you know there was here's an interesting bit of controversy behind behind the scenes
Con, helm,
Specsavers as a franchise. Basically, it is correct. Do you know how that Battlefront 2 EA post on Reddit about trying to justify the microtransactions was the most downvoted thing on Reddit, getting hundreds of thousands of downvotes. The most downvoted thing on the Specsavers forum at the moment is somebody saying, a member of staff from a different branch, who I won't name and won't say which store, basically saying that the coloured backboards for the glasses, so if you go in, all of the glasses are on the racks. We have blue for the gents and pink for the ladies, so that you can, as somebody who doesn't give a flying fuck about non-binary genders, I can go into a shop and tell which glasses are intended for that specific gender. I'm getting off topic. I'm not, but I am. So yeah, basically it's basically she said that the backboards were not gender neutral and therefore had no place in the business. It is sitting high and mighty at 42 downvotes, which is pretty cool. So yeah, hi from Australia, Quebec. Hello, communist cow the sheep. What a username. Many underscores should be your second account. Okay, sorry, Helm, bring us right, bearing 127.
Come right to 127. Helm I.
He's basically saying downvote it more. If we have any Specsavers staff in, we need to call in the back. Sorry. Oh shit. Digby is now playing Hearts of Iron. Is it over? Did the cold water session?
Regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 006.
Yeah, he ain't hurting anyone. He's clearly not one of the submarines we're hunting. Yeah, Digby just flashed up on Steam saying Digby is playing Hearts of Iron. Is that it? Is Digby quit? After lurking in your chat for a while now, I thought it's time. Well, thank you very much, Lillian. You're welcome. Welcome to the surface. Welcome to Periscope Depth, Lily. It's good to have you. God, I need a drink. Stiff liquor. Okay. Contact has changed course slightly, I believe. Yes, he's made a small course adjustment. Nothing serious, though. We're still in the contact's baffles. Helm, bring us back up to 5 knots, please. 5 knots.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering I.
Maneuvering I. Let's check for erratic enemy behaviour. Helm, bring us right, shallow, or very slightly. Stand by. Contact is making a course adjustment. He's still keeping 10 knots. Contact, words, helm, bring us right, bearing 150.
Come right to 150. Helm aye.
Where's the contact now? He's out there somewhere. There he is. We're currently manoeuvring into the contact's baffles. This is what submarine warfare is like, folks. It's not all cool explosions. This is how you hunt and kill a submarine without it ever knowing you were there. At the moment, he has had no contact. At the minute, life is normal upon the Soviet submarine. There is no inkling that that they are being stalked by a NATO submarine at the moment. They have no idea. At the minute, we're just biding our time. What we need to do now is work our way into the contact's baffles, which is going to be very soon. What happened to the Sturgeon, Citrus? I wanted to play a special run of Fog of War, which is basically a vanilla run of the game, but with a few special rules in place on us. How you doing, Justice? So the Sturgeon save is still there, but we're just not playing it this time. You know what? You know what else is in submarine warfare? Performing TSA. Nah, don't know what you're on about. Damn it, Quebec, every time I watch you play this I get an irresistible urge to watch Hunt for the Red October. It's a good film. Can't argue. Can't argue with that urge. What nation are you playing as? The nation of NATO. They live in a small grotto on the south coast of Cornwall. And every 6 months a submarine is berthed to the ocean. It's a water berth, obviously. Yeah, it's a momentous occasion. 7 people turn up for it. That will be the Foreign Secretary, the Prime Minister, his or her wife, Theresa May's obviously on the other bus. Yeah, and a few other people. The Archbishop of Canterbury and Warwick, the butcher from down the road. He goes as well. Why so trolley today? I don't know. Why so trolley? Why so supermarket down a hill, ending in tears? Who knows? Right, okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to change course one more time. A very slight right-hand adjustment. Helm, bring us right, bearing 169.
Come right to.
Don't forget the milkman.
169.
It's true.
Helm aye.
Leave jokes to others, please. Anytime. Anytime, don't worry. I've got plenty of material. Not enough fabric. Oh, kill me. Cool. Right. And I think I'm going to give it, just for the sake of everyone's sanity, I'm just going to give it a few bursts
Helm, steady course.
of time acceleration. We are currently working into the contact's baffles. We shall engage the target once it reaches a range of about 10,000 yards. No fuss, no drama. The submarine's sort of plinking away there at a decent speed. Interestingly enough, Sierra 2 is now closing again. Oh shit, hang on. Sierra 2 might be... See, this is why you don't click on stuff. See, Sierra 2 was an underwater contact then. We could be getting stalked. This is why you don't click on things. Ruined it! Goddamn ruined it. Okay. Here, oh gosh, here, oh. Sierra 2 is very close. Ruined it! Okay, goddamn me mahoy. Okay, helm, come left, bearing 0. In fact, we're going to ignore it. We're going to pretend we didn't know. We're going to pretend we didn't see that heinous crime. And we're going to continue servicing Master 1 as normal. Sierra 2 could be a whale. We don't know. We don't know for sure. We're going to continue servicing the target that we know is a submarine. So we're going to continue servicing Master 1 and we're going to pretend we didn't see that. Risk it and ignore Sierra 2. I will. We are now comfortably in what I would call the contact's baffles. We are currently in the blind spot behind the target, so we are now going to prepare to fire from the right-hand side, which means firing from tubes 1 and 2. So, firing point procedures on the bearing of Master 1. Range to enable 6,200 yards. Bearing 211. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 1.
Shoot tube 1. Aye, sir.
Weapon is away and running normally. Contact is making no erratic movements. We're going to leave the weapon on passive homing. We're going to let the weapon close the target. We are getting no sweeps on active sonar, which means the launch went undetected. We have likely made it successfully into the enemy baffles. RTE on the weapon, 5,400 yards. Time to run, 16 minutes. Did you play Steel Armor Blaze of War? Fucking hell, that's like... that's got every manly Steel Armor Blaze of War. WWE. Like, fucking... Holy shit, that's got like every, like, male trigger word. That 10 knot speed on Sierra 2 is a bit suspicious, it is, but we're going to have to... He didn't detect us, bearing in mind that we just fired a torpedo in direct view of Sierra 2, and it has done nothing to try and counter-fire us as far as we can detect, so we have to assume that it is neutral. And again, it is not travelling as part of the fleet. You've got to remember, at the start, Sierra 2 broke off and fucked off. So, yeah, at the moment, not too bad. Will I play any horror games? No. I like to break out some horror games at like Halloween and stuff. But the problem with horror games is that they're scary, and I don't like screaming. I don't like being scared. It's just I just don't like it. All right. This is going to end up terribly wrong here. It could be. In before Sierra 2 is in your baffles and he just shot a spray at you. It could happen. Again, Master 1 hasn't detected us yet. Even if Master 1 goes active, he's not going to be able to detect us. He is still not changed speed. We are going to adjust the warhead of the first weapon. We are going to change the enable point. Bearing 216, range 7.1 KYD. Which sounds like a very nice drink. 7.1 KYD, or a type of petrol. Which is probably more realistic of that of a Russian. That's something that you'd buy in spin tyres to get some extra miles out of your truck. How far are you in Bomber Crew? Not very far. Didn't you get scared by a bear in the long dark? I think every piece of wildlife, from rabbits to moose, have scared the shit out of me in the long dark. I don't think fucking bears don't get special treatment. Sorry, just turn the night light off. That always comes on at 9 o'clock and minimises everything. There we go. There we go. The contact is still oblivious to the weapon. We are going to let the homing warhead activate. This is a textbook killing of a submarine right here. Cool. I hear pause. Yep. Go active. No. We're going to let the passive... We want to try and maintain stealth for as long as possible, remember. So we're going to let the weapon acquire the target naturally. The weapon's...
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
There we go, the weapon is just enabled. It is now closing the target.
Con, sonar, launch transient from Master 1.
It has fired a spread and it has dropped a sonar buoy. Okay. Helm, bring us right. Bearing.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Sorry, bring us left. Bearing 099.
Come left to 099. Helm aye.
We've got to wait for the ship to speed up before we can... He's staying on passive homing and he is not speeding up currently. The target should destroy him and then we need to speed up to a head full, which is going to be a head 4. We've got to wait for the target to be destroyed. Target solution is dropping 62%.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 223.
Target is still making 10 knots. Incoming weapons. You can see him out there actually, very far in the distance. Let's try and steer the weapon onto target. Let's give it a hard left-hand turn there. You can see us giving the weapon a very sharp turn to try and turn it in on the target a little bit faster.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. It's going to hit it right in the port side. Explosion.
Con, helm, steady course. Con sonar, lost contact. Master 1, last bearing 228. Contact breaking up.
Contact was trying to surface. The stern starting to bottom out. Contact destroyed. Okay, now we need to head into torpedo evasion. Bring us ahead 20 knots,
Make
please,
turn,
maneuvering.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
Need to try and get out of the way of his reactive fire. Incoming weapons are coming from bearing 223. That is this bearing here. Weapons have just gone active.
Making turns for.
All ahead flank, 33 knots.
Turns for 3 knots. Maneuvering aye.
There are the weapons. Need to get out of the search range of those torpedoes. Helm, bring us left, bearing 068.
Come left to 068. Helm aye. Con, helm, steady course.
Reload MOSS in tube 1. We got bogies in the water. So the November class, let's see what it had. Set 65 torpedoes. Quite a limited 880 meter search cone on them. But the problem is we're in such shallow water that we basically just need to vector off the targets. Speed is currently 30 knots and climbing to 33. We have just been pinged on active sonar. Launch transient. Okay, snapshot on the last known bearing of Sierra 2. All back emergency.
Sonar, no longer cavitating.
No longer cavitating. Aye, slow us down. 15 knots. Snapshot tube 2.
Shoot, tube 2. Aye, sir.
All ahead flank, full speed.
Make turns for. Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 2.
Activate the warhead. Snaking search. Track down Sierra 2.
Con sonar, lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 332. Contact faded.
Helm, bring us right, bearing 128.
Come right to 128.
We've
Helm
got
aye.
2 spreads of weapons
Con,
we need
fire
to try and
control,
avoid.
we've lost the wire.
Lost the wire, aye. Reload MOSS in tube 2.
Con, helm, steady course.
Steady course, aye.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Getting another ping on active sonar. Need to get out of the way of these torpedoes. Current speed is 31 knots. Interesting that Sierra 2 was another submarine. I should have thought as much, but there was never any guarantee. So that fucking torpedo is getting awfully close. It's going to acquire us on its next search if we're not careful. Oh, helm, come left, bearing 096.
Come left to 096. Helm aye. Con, helm, steady course.
Maneuvering.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 324.
324, contact cavitating. Sonar solution, 30% and climbing. Oh, no, don't want that. Torpedo evasion is currently unknown. Targets are to the rear. Unknown if target acquired.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Tube 2I. Enemy has dropped a sonar or some kind of decoy. It's kind of exhilarating not knowing what's shooting at us. Yeah, I think we've evaded the weapons now. Okay, helm, bring us down. 5 knots. Rig ship for silent running.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Ultra quiet. Helm, bring us left, bearing 058.
Come left to 057. Helm I.
057I. Sierra 2, solution is improving. Looks
Con,
like another
helm,
November.
Steady course.
Incoming weapon. If it is another November, it's another Set 65 torpedo, and that gives us time to evade.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2. Last bearing 316. Contact breaking up.
316I. Okay, helm, bring us right, bearing 220.
Come right to 220. Helm I.
All ahead flank.
Con sonar. We are cavitating.
We're going into torpedo evasion here. There we go, so 2 times contact destroyed. Let's service Sierra 2. It was in fact another November class. It's actually rested the stern. Oh, it hasn't. It's actually achieved neutral buoyancy, despite the contact being totally crippled and the engine coming to a stop. Neutral buoyancy is starting to tip as the stern floods.
Con, helm, steady course.
We've got a huge oil slick on the ocean surface here. You can see the amount of weapons that were fired. Crazy. Again, we just need to get out of the way of the counter fire. Lovely. Oh, God. What is your favourite non-alcoholic drink? Oh. You're already cavitating, why not just go active? I could just go active, but I chose not to. Ultimately, it didn't make any difference. But I could have gone active, you are right. Hide in the bushes, yes. The old bush strat. The old bush Wookiee strat. Sorry, favourite non-alcoholic drink? Oh, decisions. Favourite I'm gonna be honest, right? It's probably the fizzy version of Vimto, not the flat one. Although the flat one is equally nice. A close second to that, or maybe even first, I'd say they hold equal points on the pedestal of glory. Is oh, there we go. One of the weapons just gave out. Is probably Lipton iced tea. Probably. I know that's quite a controversial one. Sounds like a thirsty man. I certainly am. I do need a drink. I might go get a glass of water. Currently in full torpedo evasion. That's good. 2 times November class is sunk, which is nice in very shallow water. There you go. The stern's finally come to rest. Again, we're just going at full whack in torpedo evasion. He fired a circular search weapon at us. Pretty good. Again, we're just getting out of here. Right, helm, bring us down to a head standard, 15 knots.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering up.
Let's just not rag it quite as much there. You can see the hostile weapon just crossing over behind us. Looks like we got out of the way just in time. Helm, bring us down 10 knots, ahead 2/3.
Make turns for 1. Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
No longer cavitating, aye? It's good stuff. Right, I'm just going to go get a quick drink of water. Oh, I try not to fall asleep. We handled that really well. It only took us an hour to sink 2 Novembers, but those are the terms of the game, folks. Seriously, it's what it takes. Right, drink of water. Whoa, lovely. You see how confident I was that those torpedoes were? I didn't even pause the game. That's confidence in your work, folks. What the hell is Vimto? Oh god, yeah, I suppose it's not an international thing. It is. Try to imagine it, and try to frame it in a positive light as well. It's a black currant. No? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hoopla, thank you very much, man. It's a blackberry, raspberry, and grape drink of a carbonated sugar-filled variety. But you can get it in still, which is a flat, non-fizzy, squash-like version, which is just as nice. Cool. Right, well the weapons haven't quite timed out yet, so no enemy vessels nearby, weapons are still nearby, so we're just going to speed up time here while running ahead at 10 knots. We're going to wait for those set 65s to give out. Once the pinging stops, we know we've done the job. There we go. No weapons nearby. Perfect. Leave combat. After action report. Enemies engaged. November class ×2, both sunk with 1 times Mark 48, leaving 14 in the stores, which is pretty good. Right. Well done, but this was not your mission target. We are going to wait here and wait for the ship to come in. There we go. We've got another contact that's just come in ahead of us. Captain, we have a new sonar contact. Bearing 054. Designate Sierra 1. Depth is 50 feet. Heading 351. Speed is 5 knots. Local conditions overcast and calm. There is a strong surface duct and thermal layer at 371 feet, so we're in slightly deeper water at least. Hopefully. Right. All hands man battle stations. Rig ship for
sonar, new contact bearing 0.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
That's not the button I wanted to press. Rigging ship for ultra quiet and active sonar
new contact
are
bearing
2 very
0,
different things.
6, 7. Designated Sierra 2.
Hopefully they didn't hear it.
Con sonar new contact bearing 0, 5, 2. Designated Sierra 3. Con sonar new contact bearing 0, 6, 9. Designated Sierra 4.
I think they have sort of polarizing
Con sonar
effects.
new contact bearing
Well,
0, 6.
At least there
1.
wasn't many people that heard
Sierra
it. Do you know what I
5.
mean? At least not many. At least not many.
Sonar new contact
There was basically
bearing
no
0,
one to hear
5,
that ping.
8. Designated Sierra 6.
I wouldn't stress about it.
Con sonar new contact bearing 0, 6, 4. Designated Sierra 7. Con sonar new contact bearing 0, 6, 1. Designated Sierra 8.
Okay, so
Con sonar new contact bearing 0, 6, 1. Designated Sierra 9.
okay, so range to targets are about 30,000
sonar
yards.
new contact bearing
10.
0, 2, 5. Designated Sierra 1.
Fucking hell,
0.
we've got some tonnage coming up here. Okay,
Con
dive.
sonar new contact bearing 0, 5, 0. Designated Sierra 1, 1.
Hello? Is it done? Right. Right, come to PD.
4, 5, 8, dive by.
Right,
Dive
they might have heard me.
4, 5, 8, dive by.
Right, raise,
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Up scope.
up scope, look bearing 5-4. There are contacts out there. Conditions are overcast. No close contacts. I see a reflection on the surface of the water where I did. There it is. Unknown if that's a helicopter. Looks like it might be a looks like a helicopter. Can't mark it, so they've got helos out. I'm being pinged with active sonar from the distance. Right. Lower the
Down scope.
Lower the scope. Okay, dive. Make depth 10 feet. 100.
Make depth 100 feet. Dive by.
Okay, reload a Mark 48 in tube 2. I'm going to fire a spread into the fleet. That's just what I've got to do here. I've not got much choice. So I'm going to fire a full spread into the fleet while they are at range in an attempt to kill as many targets as possible. There is no doubt in my mind that this is the convoy that we're after. So I'm not going to go through the arduous process of identifying 11 Sierras. Nice meme. Holy shit. So yes, I'm going to fire a spread into the fleet. A lot of these looks like they're going to be escorts. There may even be a capital ship or two. We're just going to get stuck in.
Dive at 100 feet. Dive high.
Raising your periscope when warships are around, really? I didn't raise it very high, but yes, ultimately, yes. So, we're going to wait for the Mark 48 in Tube 2 to reload. The very different pace from the first one, as I decided to just go with a fucking megaphone and just tell everyone, hey, I'm over here. You know, ringing the dinner bell. Fucking, oh shit, yeah, we've got ships closing in at a decent speed here. We've got a lot going on. 10, 15 knots, 11 knots, 10 knots. Yeah, we're in real trouble. 14 knots, 43,000 yards. How are we detecting them from 43,000 yards away?
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Right. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the target motion analysis on Sierra 9 has improved rather drastically, despite being screened by so many additional ships. That either means it is a very loud, dirty cargo ship, or a capital ship. Hopefully the latter, considering how many fucking screens it's got. Sierra 2, in addition, is also running the same shit. So we're going to fire a spread. We're going to fire 3 times weapons on the bearings of the Sierra Fleet 1, and then we're going to fire 1 weapon at Sierra Fleet 2. So, firing point procedures on the bearing of Sierras. Range to enable. We're going to set it short. We're going to set it bearing 064, range 9.5 KYD. Ship ready, tube ready. Fire tube 1.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
We're going to set it to passive homing. Ready, fire tube 2.
Shoot 2-2. Aye, sir.
Fire tube 3.
Con, fire control. We've lost the wire.
Lost the wire, aye. And 1 far shot on the rear Sierra fleet. Firing point procedure 067, range 39.6 thousand yards. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube. In fact, actually, fuck that. We'll have to engage those with missiles. That's too far. So, and fire another snapshot into the bearing of the fleet. Bearing Sierra 1056, range 22.5 KYD. Fire.
Shoot 2-4. Aye, sir.
Reload tubes 3 with MOSS. Maintain current course. Weapons are away. 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons. He meant active. Set it to passive homing, then sets them to active. Sorry, yes, you're right. I did mean active. This is the tense bit where we wait for the return fire. We've got to try and steer all of the weapons onto separate targets. This is definitely a... Well, it's fucking 11 Sierras. Wouldn't it just be more efficient to nuke them? At this point, yes, but we're a nuclear attack submarine. We're not an SSBN. We don't have any ballistic nuclear missiles. Or an I think SSGN is nuclear missiles, isn't it? Ships are beginning a southern turn. Course correction. So the weapons are now detected. Likely the enemy counterfire is going to be arriving shortly. Okay, let's adjust firing point procedures. Again, didn't want to do that. Right. Weapon 1. Firing point procedures are set here. Let's set this weapon to chase. Sierra 3. We've got counterfire coming from Sierra 1.
Ready.
Let's change the bearing of Sierra 4 to match the counterfire. Bearing 053. 2 times counterfire coming in. Let's change the bearing of Sierra 2, weapon 2, sorry, let's change the 5-point proceedings data. We can now see the bulk of the fleet. Let's change that. Bearing 069, range 22.9 thousand yards. The rest of the fleet is running. Looks like we've got one guy coming in close actually, so we're going to change that here. The weapon running point of weapon 3 is currently obviously broken. The wire snapped on launch, so we're going to adjust weapon 2 to Sierra 4. All weapons are going to be set to running shallow, so we're going to change the targeting computer to search on the surface.
Oh, yeah.
Enosu, thank you very much, mate. I like how you aren't bothering with identification. It is intentional. It is intentional, Ferk. For it is the name of said game. This fleet here is maintaining formation, so this is likely the group of tankers and tenders we are after, with Sierras 1, 3, 4 and 2 being screening vessels, and Sierras 9, what I'm guessing is going to be 10 and 11 being external elements. They are not probably part of this fleet. Okay, so we're going to speed up time a little bit here. Weapon 2 we're going to be enabling early. Weapon 2 we are going to activate now. We're going to steer it onto the target. Speed up time. We've got a launch transient on the bearing of ourselves. Helm, bring us right, bearing 045.
Come right to 045. Helm aye.
Okay, we've got a weapon coming right at us from this direction. Helm, we've got to turn all the way around. Bring us right, bearing 129. 129.
Come right to 129. Helm aye.
Adjust the weapon warhead, or adjust the bearing of weapon 2. Slight adjustment. Speed up time.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
So Sierra 2 has found its mark. We are now going to activate the homing warheads on weapons 1 and weapons 4. Sorry, weapons 4. We are now going to set them to a search pattern. There we are. We're going to set weapon 4 on the bearing of Sierra 1.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 074.
And we are going to set the search cone of weapon 1 on the bearing of the bulk of the
Con,
fleet.
fire control, weapon acquired.
There we go. We're now turning away from the bearing of
Con,
this weapon
helm,
here.
steady course.
Sierra 4 is
Con,
now going
fire
to
control,
find its
weapon
mark.
acquired.
Sierra 1, or weapon 1, has been sucked up on the wrong target, so we're going to steer it away. We don't want weapon 1 getting sunk at the same time. Unknown what ship that is. Sierra 4, let's lock it in. It is pulling 34 knots. Not many ships in the Russian Navy can pull 34 knots. In fact, actually most of them can. Tend a bit of a porky there. Sierra 4 is going to get sunk. It's some kind of anti-submarine vessel.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 071. Contact breaking up.
071, Sierra 4 has been engaged and destroyed. Sierras 3 and 3 alone is now turning to engage us. Sierra 1 could also be changing course. Looks like Sierra 3 is a warship that is now either turning around to engage us or turning around to collect survivors of the destroyed vessel. Either way, we're going to have Sierra 3 sunk very soon. And remember, the tenders and tankers are the mission target, so if we destroy the screening fleet, we are free to use our UGM missiles on the cargo ships. Again, the cargo ships are currently leaving at a range of about, well, let's have a look. One of them was doing about 7 knots, which is Sierra 2. Sierra 2, very slow here. Looks like it's trying to detect us, or it is a very large ship capable of very slow speeds. Most of them are pulling 35. A lot of the ships are pulling 15 knots, which is going to be a bulk of the merchant fleet. Again, 15 knots. Sierra 6 part of this holding pattern here, likely the internals of the convoy. There is even a chance that Sierra 5 is a warship as well, so that's not too bad. We're still on the contact of Sierra 1, although Sierra 1 is clearly running a bit more quietly than we care to mention. He's fired a snapshot at us, but we've already avoided it. We've got more weapons coming in. Sierra 3 is... There we go, we've got a course on Sierra 3. He's heading southeast. That's fine. Weapon 1 is going to be tracking him shortly. We are going to reload an Mark 48 in Tube 2. Show us the ship. Okay, let's see which ship we sunk. Okay, difficult to say what that is. Let's try and match the picture. So we know it's a warship. It's not any of the major ships. No, too big for that. Or too small, I should say. Let's look for one gun turret at the front. It's not a SOVer. No, I don't think it's a SOV. No. No, it's not a SOV. Cash-in? Looks like it could be a cash-in, yep. So 1 times cash-in destroyed. So Sierra 4 was a cash-in. S4. Cash-in? So Sierra 4 was a cash-in. Hit it sort of on the... We hit it on the port side, closer to the stern. Took on a lot of water and ended up sinking out. That's fine. Okay, back on the weapons. We've got to adjust the firing point of weapon 4 here on the bearing of Sierra 1. That is one ship we're trying to sink. We are also going to adjust the firing point procedures of weapon 1 to better track Sierra 3.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
We need to make sure we've destroyed the screening ships, so... Here we go. Hopefully we're going to acquire the target on Sierra 3. Weapon 1 is moving a lot faster than it. Time to run on Weapon 3 is 6 minutes, or Weapon 1. 6 minutes on Weapon 1. We've got 6 minutes of fuel remaining, which means we'll be engaging with missiles in the near future. Okay, adjust for Sierra 1. Change course. Do just a quick snaking search. Try and find the target. Okay, keep on last known bearing. We are tracking Sierra 3. At the very worst, we're going to bump into Sierra 5. Let's just do a quick snaking search with weapon 1.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired I. Sierra 1 has been painted. We're going to keep chasing Sierra 3 here with this one. It looks like weapon 3 here. Stand by. Target acquired. Unknown whether we are chasing Sierra 5 here. I don't think we are. But even if we are, it's a good kill. Here we go. That's the contact we're trying to chase. There it is. Sierra 3. We've got a positive contact on him. There it is, Sierra 3. No, I don't need you. Sierra 5 is the louder one. Okay, let's go passive homing. Let's try and get it lined up on Sierra 3.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 043.
Sierra 1 has dropped noisemakers. Difficult, really struggling to track this target. Okay, well...
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. God damn it, come on, weapon 1. You've only got 4 minutes of fuel. This guy is running over to dump the weapon on Sierra 2. It's quite funny. By the fact that these guys are all holding a relatively slow speed, we can rest pretty safely that those are hostile contacts. Sierra 2 is unknown at this point. There we go. So we're now tracking Sierra 3, who's just coming over to dump it on Sierra 2. Sierra 2 could be some kind of submarine or something. Sierra 2 is only pulling 7 knots. Let's check in the bottom here. 7 knots. What do we have that carries at 7 knots?
Sonar, noisemaker bearing 042.
What's got a top speed of 7 knots? Basically nothing. 13
Con,
knots.
fire control, weapon acquired.
Absolutely nothing should be running at like 7 knots. Not even the biggest cargo ships like the Kazbek are running at 7 knots. That's quite interesting. Weapon 5 is now tracking Sierra 5.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1.
Sierra 1 has been sunk. Reload UGM in Tube 4.
Contact breaking up.
We are also going to, yeah, we're going to keep that missile there. We've got a snapshot from Sierra 2. Sierra 2 is a military target. We're going to fire a torpedo on the... In fact, no, we're not. We're going to... In fact, should we? We should fire a torpedo.
Con sonar lost contact.
Sierra 3 has been
Sierra
destroyed.
3, last bearing 072. Contact breaking up.
Okay, reload UGM in tube 1. Tube 1, UGM. Fire tube 3Q. They're at really long range. Really long range. I don't think a torpedo is going to get there. Unless Sierra 2 points us, I'm not going to fire another torpedo. It looks like he is actually turning around to get us. Sierra 5 is about to be destroyed. Take a look at Sierra 2. Sierra 2 is now doing 24 knots, which means he's now gone active.
Lost contact.
Sierra 5 has been destroyed.
Last
Okay, we're going to fire a torpedo at Sierra 2.
Contact breaking up.
So, firing point procedures, bearing 067. Range to enable 16,800 yards. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 3.
Shoot tube 2.
Oh,
Aye,
tube
sir.
2, sorry. Still reload. Well, tube 3's got a Mark 48 in it. I keep thinking it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's vertical, not horizontal. So, 4 times ships still remain. Let's see. Sierra 3 was a...
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
unknown. Let's check surface ships. It's not quite under yet, so it's going to be difficult to identify it. Some kind of elevated rear deck. Could it be this one? No. Not that. A cannon? Looks like a cannon. So Sierra 3, S3 was a cannon. Anti-submarine warfare. Sierra 1 is at the bottom. What could this one be? 2 front guns. Eudaloy. It's consistent, yep, with the little box on the back. So a Eudaloy. Sierra 1 was a Eudaloy. Anti-submarine warfare. Eudaloy. God, nasty anti-submarine fleet. Very nasty. That snapshot is going totally the wrong direction. That's perfect. UGMs are nearly loaded. I need to sink Sierra 2 before I engage the primary fleet. So I need to stay on target for now.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
It's good shit, right? Good shit. Saphirian? How you doing, bro? You alright? You good, man? You good form? Perfect. Missiles will be coming soon. Basically, whatever Sierra 2 it is some kind of warship, because Sierra 2 fired this torpedo. Sierra 2 might have, if we look at, say, for example, if we look at the Eudaloy here, the Eudaloy has SSN missiles and RBU 6000. It's basically like a depth charge system. It's not, but it is, in layman's terms. It's like a carpet bombing almost of the ocean with small explosives. Anyway, point being that if the enemy vessel has either 2 of those systems, if I fire a missile, he'll know exactly where I am and just be able to fire a weapon at me straight away. Nothing gives away a position like a tall column of smoke. So I'm going to let Sierra 2 rush into me at the extortionate 34 knots that he's pulling, and we'll let him do all of the hard work, and we'll engage him in good time. What we're going to do is we're going to activate Weapon 2's warhead. We're going to bring it up to shallow search, and then we are going to point it at Sierra 2. Hopefully it doesn't get sucked up on the wreck of Sierra 4, time will tell. And then after that we are going to fire 4 UGM missiles at the cargo fleet, hopefully knocking them all out. Again, the brief said it was a mix of Rapua and a mix of other contacts. So it's difficult to say for sure what we're going to be finding here. Sierra 1 is now a priority well, I say priority contact, but it's an additional contact. Sierra 11, let's have a look. It's pulling 11 knots, likely some kind of wildlife. It's only pulling 11 knots. It's pretty unusual, 33,000 yards. Let's take a look at wildlife. 11 knots is consistent, and they are very noisy
Sonar,
creatures.
Sierra 1 is classified as biologic.
Well, it could be. We don't know for sure. Didn't mean to do that. And Sierra 10 is again pulling 11 knots, likely biologic of some description. Unknown, but likely. Okay, we're going to speed up time a little bit. We're going to get that torpedo closing a little bit faster. Weapon is searching shallow, so it shouldn't get sucked up on the wreck of Sierra 4, and that it hasn't. We're now going to adjust bearing of the weapon. Sierra 2 should detect it.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. Lovely. We may even be able to come up to PD for this one. Dive. Bring us 4 or 5 feet.
5 feet, dive high.
4 or 5 feet. I don't think we'll be able to see it explode, based on the fact that the torpedo is already closing and Sierra 2 is barely making any course adjustments. Looks like we're going to hit it on the stern. He's trying to turn there. Maybe he will get a countermeasure off, but who knows. Range to the target is currently 17,000 yards. We may see them from PD. Not sure though. We need to raise another 14 feet before I can see them. Target is turning around. It's now got its rear to us.
Noisemaker bearing.
Noisemaker, it's not even
0, 6,
interested.
3.
Go for active homing, get a target solution on it. Right.
Up scope.
Up scope. Bearing 2929.
Con, dive at 4, 5 feet, dive high.
Target is on the horizon there, bearing 29. We should see an explosion very soon. No visual contact. Okay, we need to be careful because there might be helicopters in the air.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
Weapon countermeasure homing I, bearing 29. It's literally right on this bearing. They're right out there in the fog. Hello, Bart. How you doing?
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Now bearing 28, so just here somewhere. This is going to be the hit. He can't avoid this one. It's coming in. We should see an explosion on the horizon.
Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 0, 6, 2. Contact breaking up.
Right, no contact on the horizon. Right, reload UGMs. We're going to start picking off the escapees. So, firing point procedures. Bearing 064. Range. Let's go 40,000 yards. Ship ready, tube ready. Let's go into
Downscope.
downscope. Firing point procedures 064, range 40, KYD. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 4.
Shoot tube 4. Aye, sir.
There's the explosion. Okay, firing point procedures. Bearing 061, range 062, range to enable 39.7 KYD. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 1.
Shoot tube 1. Aye, sir.
Tube 1 away. Reload tube 4. And reload tube 1 with Mark 48. All of these targets should be hits and kills. Upscope need to see some explosions, I know. Look, this is what submarine warfare's like. You don't get to see the fancy explosions, you just hear that the contacts fade on your instruments. We should get Sierra 7 and Sierra 8 knocked out very shortly. We'll see if the weapons were good. Weapon 2 is about to load.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Copy that. Reload reload the MOSS up there and the Mark 48 down here. There we go. Firing point procedures. Bearing 060. Range to enable 40 yards. We're going to set it to a narrow search so it doesn't get contaminated by Sierra 8. So, bearing 060. Range to enable 40.2 KYD. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 2.
Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
Still no positive ID on any confirmed kills. Bearing in mind it's 40,000 yards. We should be seeing them any second. We're going to reload another UGM just in case. Stand by. There was an explosion. Unknown if successful hits.
Con sonar lost
Sierra
contact.
9 was destroyed.
Sierra 9, last bearing 060. Contact breaking up.
Sierra 9 was not pointed at so quickly. We have to assume Sierra 8 and Sierra 7 were misses. Still pulling 16 and 17 knots respectively. Incoming helicopter. Okay, dive. Take us down. 150 feet.
150 feet, dive high. Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Bring us ahead 2/3.
Make con sonar. We are cavitating.
Change
left.
course.
Con sonar. No longer cavitating.
Bring us
Con
left.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 10. Last bearing 028. Contact faded.
I think the Sierra 8 shot went on Sierra 9. Yep, that's probably fair. The question is, why wasn't Sierra 7 cavitate, or why wasn't Sierra 7 hit? They've dumped a torpedo on us. Right, all ahead flank, 33 knots.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water.
Torpedo in the water, right?
Bearing 285.
We can give these a run around.
Steady course.
Drop a decoy.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1.
Point the
Last
fleet.
bearing 0. Come left to 060. Con helm. Steady course.
We'll let the weapon point the decoy for now. We'll leave some breadcrumbs in terms of torpedoes. I'm not too worried about these guys, frankly. Let's create a knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
There we go. Try and confuse these warheads a little bit. Let's try and catch up with the fleet. The fleet's only pulling a very basic speed.
60. Helm aye.
Can't launch missiles at this
Steady
speed.
course.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Form a knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed. These torpedoes don't have much fuel in. I won't have to give them the runaround for long. Give me 5 degrees, 10 degrees right rudder or left rudder. Drop a decoy. 30 degrees right rudder, 15 degrees right rudder. Change depth, 5 degrees negative on the planes. Take us down a little bit. Level off the boat. Contacts coming in from the side. Get ready to form a knuckle.
3 knots.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed eye. Point the fleet again.
Come left to 061. Helm aye. Con helm. Steady course.
On helm, steady course eye. Give it the wiggle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed. Lots of cavitation. Looks like the other weapon didn't detect us, it's just one weapon that's stuck on us here. I would fire my MOSS, but frankly they're precious and I don't want to waste them on one torpedo, so we're just going to stretch this one out. Form knuckle.
Knuckle formed.
There we go, let's keep it guessing. Let's point back on the fleet.
Come left to 060. Helm aye.
I see some of the sinking ships as we approach here. Looks like it actually gets even shallower up here. Total water depth is shrinking. Weapons reacquired us. Form knuckle.
Knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed. Just keep it guessing. 33 knots is a cracking speed for a submarine of this size, so we're doing well. Knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed eye. Hopefully it's going to start steering off. There it is. Weapon's getting quite close now. Give me 30 degrees left rudder.
Knuckle formed.
Get ready to drop a decoy. Try and keep that torpedo behind us rather than have it hit us in the side. Drop a decoy. What would he do? Will he snake left or right? It's a $1 million question.
Con, knuckle formed.
Now, will he go to the right? Let's prepare for him to do so. No, he's going left. Okay, it's not too bad. Just got to give this the run around. After that, we need to drop to 10 knots. Explosions there and explosions there. Torpedoes have timed out. Silent
for
running
ultra
5
quiet. knots.
In fact, belay that. Bring us to a head 2/3. 10 knots. Still
Make
pointing the
turns
fleet.
for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Dive keep depth
Con,
150
helm,
feet.
steady course.
Make depth 150 feet. Dive aye.
Sierra 7 re-established. Sierras 9 and 8 are both sunk. Sierras
Con
7
sonar
and
regains
6 are
contact
still
on Sierra
active.
6, bearing
100
056.
bits there. Hey Q, surprised to see you on this late. A whale's trying to exact revenge. Is it late? It's not
Con
too late, is it?
maneuvering, making turns for
Don't think it's too bad.
knots.
But yeah, thank you for the bits, Alex. Alexander Frost Stream.
Dive at 150 feet. Dive aye.
Thank you very much. Now, with the helicopters in the air, that does throw a little bit of a thorn in our sides. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to 200 feet
Make depth 200 feet. Dive aye.
and try and catch up with the tankers and tenders. I need to sink them all for the tonnage, so we're going to chase them down. Hello Hawk, how you doing? Can we blow up whales again? Jesus. Oh dear. How deep can this particular sub go? Here's a thing that I didn't know. If you go up here and you click on this 4th icon, it tells you everything about your own submarine. The Los Angeles SSN
Dive at 200 feet. Dive aye.
has a test depth of 950 feet. Practically, that means anything past that depth you are at risk of crushing. Not guaranteed, but at risk of it. Okay, let's bring it up to a head standard. 15 knots.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye.
There we go, remember, we're trying to give
Con
chase.
maneuvering, making turns for 15 knots.
I'd fuck Quebec. Alright. I hope 1946 isn't your age, Grandma. Fucking hell. What is the deepest I've been? Is that an IRL question? I best not answer that. Let's see. 1,500 feet? Haven't been much deeper than that. No, it's my kill streak. Nice. Thanks very much, Streep. I am better than Netflix, and don't worry, it's all becoming a premium paid-for service tomorrow. That Sierra 7 marker can't be right. Let's check what we sank. That's a Rapua. Let's mark that down. Isn't it sad that I know this stuff without checking? Sierra 8 is a Rapua. Oh, sorry, Rapucha, C-A, Rapucha. And Sierra 9 is an alligator. Sierra 9, alligator. Lovely. Why is it actually just sitting at 90 degrees like that? Because the stern is flat, and B, it's more than likely that there's still some air trapped in the bow of the ship. As you can see, there's lots of air leaking out. Eventually, depending on how significant the current of the ocean is around here, we're quite close to shore, it will eventually shift and nose over. Which way it noses over, though, is its own choice. But it's literally, it's very rare for normally the ocean floor isn't this flat either, just in the game that it is. But yeah, eventually, for whatever reason, this will nose over. It won't stay like this forever and annoy passers-by, like just to have a submarine headbutt it. In fact, it really, ships will just be tiptoeing over the top of that. That is like right near the surface. Like, holy shit. Didn't save them though, did it? Perfect. So contacts are at 32.5 kiliyards. So 32,500 yards, which is a hell of a long way away. We need to shoot missiles at the contacts, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to survive the helicopters. So when I fire these 2 missiles, I need to stick my head up, use the radar, and then dive and fuck off again, because we're going to get fired another 2 torpedoes at us. You'll see that I'm actually pushing the ships here. I'm trying to get in and amongst the fleet, the wrecked fleet, so that we can potentially hide from the torpedoes here. There's a lot of ships we sunk so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to come ahead 5 knots, and we're going to come up to periscope depth.
5 knots. Maneuvering on.
Dive, make depth 4-5 feet.
Make depth 4-5 feet. Dive by.
Perfect. Right, we're going to come up to PD depth. We're going to raise the radar mast. I know that's a gamble, but we're going to raise the radar mast in an attempt to service the targets, get an accurate location of them. We're going to fire tubes 1 and 2 on the bearings of the target, and then we are going to slink back down into the depths, change course, and head out to deeper water to the northwest.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
There we go, coming up. Passing 90 feet.
Con, sonar, regained contact on Sierra 1, 0, bearing 0, 2, 3.
Right. Passing 60 feet, ready for PD. And raise instruments.
Raise the radar mast.
Radar mast up. Sierra 6 and Sierra 7 are still unknown. Raise the ESM mast. Try and service those targets. Sierra 7 and Sierra 6 are still unknown. Target solution is at 34%. They are outside of radar range. Lower the masts.
Lower the radar mast.
We've got 2 choices here, Stream. We can either let them go, or we can chase them. If we chase them, it means going as deep as we can, which will be about 200 feet, and trying to pull 20 knots to close range.
Con, dive at 4-5 feet. Dive by.
What do we think? Chase, of course. Okay, so dive. Bring us down to 200 feet.
Make depth 200 feet. Dive by.
Incoming helicopters. Okay, cavitation, all ahead flank. They saw the radar signatures.
Make turns for
Let's
con,
rock and roll.
sonar, we are cavitating.
All ahead flank. Let's get up speed, ready for the torpedo drops. They're coming.
Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 1, 0, last bearing 0, 2, 4, contact faded. Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 0, 6, 5, contact faded. Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 6, last bearing 0, 5, 6, contact faded.
If that helicopter stops and hovers, we need to rig ship for silent running.
Con, dive at 200 feet. Dive by.
Thank God we didn't launch a missile, otherwise they'd know exactly where we were, and then we'd have to be dealing with another torpedo. Looks like they're just trying to choose an area for dipping. They're sort of scanning overhead. Until they drop the sonar, we're okay. Unless he's circling in. Unless he's using EMA, then we're fine. Stand by. He just dropped a torpedo down there. Oh no, he's dropping depth charges. Very interesting. Moving at a hell of a speed, 33 knots. We're GTFOing, as the wise man said. Right, they're using dipping
Rig
sonar.
ship for ultra quiet.
Rig ship for silent running. Let's coast. Let's try and stay quiet. The enemy helicopter, as best as you get that tiny speck there. I can actually show you. What they're doing at the moment, although there isn't much of an animation for it, is at the moment they have lowered what's known as a sonar buoy, or some kind of sonar equipment, some kind of microphone, and they are currently listening for my submarine. The quieter I run, the less chance they have of detecting me, so...
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 065.
065, Sierra 7 is booking it. I would say that marker is pretty much accurate at this point. They're able to open up a lot of range. They're nearly at the edge of the map. I don't want to let them get away, but what choice do I have at this point? The helicopter can hear me and can see me.
Making turns for 5 knots.
He's still there, right? He's on the move again. All ahead flank, 33 knots. Cavitation.
Con sonar, we are cavitating. Come right to 065. Helm I.
065, helm I.
Con, helm, steady course.
You can kind of see his reflection on the water. There he is. If he stops, he's like a... Yeah, he's stopping. Okay, ahead 2/3.
Make turns for 10. Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
I think we're going to have to let those other ships go. I can't be dealing with other targets like this. It's just not reasonable.
Con sonar regained contact on. Con maneuvering.
What I'm going to do...
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering I.
Is I'm going to service the last known target coordinates of Sierra 6 and Sierra 7 and make an educated guess on their accurate ranges. I am then going to fire. So we are going to run at 5 knots for the meantime and see if we can't detect them.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
Okay. I'm going to fire a UGM at a rough estimated range. I would say that Sierra 6 marker was accurate. I'd say they're up here somewhere based on the speed they were going and how long I've been in the field. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch them because of the helicopters. They're certainly outside of my radar range. I don't know what my radar range is in terms of an actual digit, like a number, but it's, yeah, certainly a problem. Right, well, here goes. %, target. Oh. Active sonar. Someone dropped a torpedo. Aha, you see, look, the helicopter dropped a torpedo on us. Wasn't close. Wasn't close enough. Lucky us. Okay, target solution is not improving. He's opening range. We're going to call it quits. There are aircraft nearby that we've got to evade. We're going to change course. We're going to let him go.
Come left to 023. Helm I.
Sierra 6 says that he's out here. That's just inaccurate.
Helm, steady course.
We're going to fire 2 weapons on the last known target coordinates, which were sort of here and here. So firing point procedures. Bearing 055, range 40.7 yards. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 1.
Shoot tube 1. Aye, sir.
Firing point procedures. Bearing 066, range 36.6 thousand yards. Ship ready, tube ready, fire tube 2.
Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
Reload MOSS in tube 2. Reload a Mark 48 in tube 1. All ahead flank cavitation. Head to deeper
sonar.
water.
We are cavitating. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 6. Last bearing 057. Contact faded.
That's the problem with launching missiles, the big plume of smoke. We need to book it out of here now before the helicopter can reposition. Of which he is definitely going to be coming this way. We're currently at 22 knots, 23, 24, 25, 26 knots, speeding up, 33 is the limit. We've got to get out to deeper water. Helm, bring us left, bearing 322.
Come left to 322. Helm I. Con, helm, steady course.
Helicopters here. Got to get ready for torpedo evasion. He's going to drop something on us. Going to get it on us nice and quick. In he comes. Helm, bring us right, bearing 038.
Come right to 038. Helm aye. Con, helm, steady course.
He is tracking our ass using EMA. Electromagnetic anomalies. He's tracking us using a form of equipment we can't evade.
Helm left to 329. Helm aye.
Just tried to depth charge us. Helm, bring us left.
Making turns for 3 knots. Con, helm, steady course. Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 6, last bearing 060. Contact breaking up.
060. Contact engaged and destroyed. We engaged and destroyed 060. Nice. 060 was destroyed. Sierra 7 was not. But we got Sierra 6. Looks like Sierra 7 managed to avoid the missile, but Sierra 6 was engaged and destroyed. Lucky guess. He's coming back in for another pass. 30 degrees left rudder.
Knuckle formed.
Degrees right rudder.
Knuckle formed.
Keep aiming.
Con, torpedo. Come right to 345. Helm aye.
Keep aiming for deeper water.
Con, helm, steady course.
He's got our number punched. He knows exactly where we are. Not much I can do against this guy except just run for it. There's nothing able to take down helicopters. 2 times helicopters. They've got a second man joining the hunt. Leave me be. Leave
Come
me
left
be.
to 325. Helm aye. Con, helm, steady course.
I almost would say that they're starting to lose me. Definitely the second helicopter. Water's gotten a little bit deeper now at 311 feet. Certainly heading out the right way. We're going to keep going at full speed. We've got to get out of here quickly. Right, looks like helicopters might be stopping for dipping. Nope, that one's still on the move. If the other one stopped to dip sonar, then he probably knows where we are. If the other helicopter starts rushing back towards us like an absolute lunatic, then we know that he stopped. Aircraft nearby. Speed up time. Come on. Yes! There we go. We can leave. Right. Leave combat. There we go. So 1 times alligator escaped. So we destroyed a Eudaloy, a cannon, a Kashin, an Aguma, an Aguma. The alligator escaped, so we didn't sink an alligator, we sunk an Aguma. We also sunk the Rapua and the Aguma again. So the alligator was the primary target, along with the Rapua, and one of them escaped. Let's see if we get mission failure or success. Great job. Pleased to hear the expected invasion of Oslo, Norway has been repelled. Await further orders. So it was mission success. We also get a Navy commendation, the Silver Star. The Secretary of the Navy, hitting me with the 07s in chat there, The Secretary of the Navy expresses his heartfelt congratulations and takes great pleasure in awarding the Silver Star Medal to Commander Quebec, commanding officer of the USS SSN 698, the Bremerton. That's it. Citation for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action against the enemies of the United States of America on the 14th of November 1984. Commander Quebec's inspiring initiative and unwavering wavering devotion reflect great credit upon himself and uphold the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Perfect. There we go. We also get a newspaper clipping from the day. World News, 14th of November 1984. I'm just going to put on my news presenter voice. Oslo, Norway. A massive coordinated sea-based landing has been repelled. A NATO spokesman says that a combination of hard fighting by defending troops and prior significant weakening of the invasion force by NATO naval units contributed to averting the disaster and defeat. According to analysts, words, I could never be a news reporter for this reason. I cock it up, I couldn't read the auto cue. The ability of NATO to contain the enemy and prevent opening of new fronts will be a major factor in the outcome of the war. Keeping the front line focused rather than spread out across multiple territories will ensure a NATO success. My God, you sound so incredibly British. I do. This is a British newspaper, clearly. Not an American newspaper. Cool. Right, it is 9:10 on a Saturday. I've had a very long day at work. I am going to hit the snooze button and I'm going to slither off to bed. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of Fog of War gameplay. What do people think about Fog of War? This crazy challenge that I just thought I'd dream up. Well, we did a little bit of Fog of War before, but this was Fog of War with a twist without TMA. So yeah, what do you think we should do? Should we do more Fog of War? Did you like it? Not like it? What do you think? Hopefully you did like it. I thought it was alright. It adds a more of like this not being known what you're attacked by kind of thing. Not bad, but would be better if you had the bear badge. So it's alright, Quetta. Give it time. Give it time. It's coming. It's coming, man. Was there actually anything different? I didn't notice. The only different thing, Karma, is that we weren't identifying targets, you'll note. All of the targets read as green because we didn't identify them. And that's the trick. We're not identifying them as to give it a little bit of a, a little bit of a twang, a bit of a twist. But no fog had explosions. I know. So it's one of those ones. It's good. I managed to build an oil rig and armor whilst listening to this.
Oh yeah.
Project Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite. Thank you very much for the £2.50. I won't lie. It's £2.50. I won't complain. So brilliant. Right, I have finished my glass of water over the last 2.5 hours, give or take. It's been 2 hours 15 minutes. I'm going to bugger off to bed. I'm going to have a piss. I've been dying for one for the last hour. So yeah, fantastic. I shall catch you all on the next stream. We're doing Divinity tomorrow. Really looking forward to Divinity, actually. Holy shit. Like, the most annoying thing about waiting from Wednesday to Sunday is that there's an extra day. Like, normally it's just Sunday to Monday. Sunday to a Wednesday, which is only a 3-day gap. But with the Wednesday to Sunday, it's 4 days and it takes forever. We're really enjoying Divinity at the moment, so fucking hell, yes. Give it to me. So cool. Right, I will catch you then. Thanks very much for coming, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. I don't know. Who should I pass you on to? I think what are people playing? Who is what and when is who? Sorry. For anybody still hanging around, I'm going to find somebody. This is the part of the stream where I palm you off to somebody who is a much better streamer than I am, and probably has all the subscriber buttons that you need. And other stuff. We're going to give you to Gladpuss, who I believe is doing some charity live streaming at the moment. So yeah, let's pass you on to her. I think that's a good excuse. So /host Gladpuss. Feel free to give us some love. And if you didn't drop any stone cold £1 coins in my hand today, then do feel free to give Gladbus some love. I think she's doing charity live streaming at the moment. I don't know whether it's a 24-hour stream, but do feel free to knock on the door and let her know what's up. Send her Joe's regards. So cool, yeah, that's it from me, and have a splendid evening. Good night and take care. Toodaloo.